Hello Emilio, we've got the transmission out of the '04 F-150. This is what it looks like when it's all apart. I'll go over some things we found with you on the inside of the transmission, and Eric or Amanda will contact you with the different cost estimates. We'll start by the pan. If you look at the magnet here, you can see the amount of material on here. We have a lot of metal that's sitting on top of that magnet, so that's about 2-3 times more than what we'd expect to see. This transmission had never been serviced, so you're going to have some material on there, but that's more material than there should be. When we look at our valve body, so inside this valve body there are going to be all the valves that direct the oil to the clutches and bands. You can see the damage on this stiffener plate here. There's a hole there. That hole is from the overdrive snap ring. So this is a broken snap ring. Here's some more pieces of the broken snap ring. That snap ring is supposed to be lodged in this groove right here. And if I take my test pin out, you can see that's a servo that's supposed to apply a band. So that's going to be sitting in there, and then you're going to have the snap ring that's going to go on this edge. And so that snap ring broke off, and now this piston was moved all the way out. Obviously the snap ring itself is damaged. This stiffener plate here is going to have to be replaced as well. There's also a common issue right down here. It may be hard for the camera to pick up, but right where that dot is, there's spider cracks that are in the metal separator plate. And the problem with that is on the bottom of that looks like this, where we've got all these worm tracks. And if you have oil leak from one part of this wall to this wall, for example, that's going to be a cross leak. And if we look at this again, what ends up happening is they used to have a stiffener plate like this in this location, and what ends up happening is underneath here the oil pressure pushes on this plate, causes it to deflect this way, and now you can have a cross leak under there. So to fix that problem, you put a stiffener plate like this in that location, and we'll put a gasket that actually seals those cracks. There's also the pressure regulator valve train is here, and it's common for them to wear, so we have to get a look at that stuff inside the valve body as well. The pump itself looks okay. So this is the pump here. Our overdrive band, if you look here, you can see that it's kind of detached coming away from the steel back, so a little bit of slippage. Those black lines that go this way, that's a little bit of slippage, but the big thing is this piece here that's detaching. This is the intermediate clutch. Comes on for second gear. There's a little bit of discoloration. These are a dark brown lining, so it's hard to see with the camera, but the steel plates look good. The frictions just have a little bit of darkening. This is the forward clutch, comes on for all the forward gears except fourth, and this is what the disc should look like. And the steel plate, these are worn a little bit, so they're a little thinner than they started out, but there's no slippage on that forward clutch. This is the planetary assembly. It looks okay. We've got to clean everything, of course, but right now everything appears to be fine. This is the low reverse band, and there's no slippage on the band. These have a common problem where this piece of the band here will break off, so we normally recommend replacing it with a new one each time. The direct drum, there's a little bit of spline wear here where this set of splines engages into this drum, so if we're doing like a 5-year warranty, we're going to replace that with a new one. This is the reverse clutch, comes on for reverse gear only. Same situation, not really any slippage there. That clutch wasn't really slipping. This is our direct clutch, comes on for third and fourth. A little discoloration, but not bad. Just a little bit of slippage on that clutch pad. This is our reverse drum, and if you look here, this snap ring is all deformed. That snap ring should be holding this mechanical diode on, and what happens is too much force, it deforms, and now you can see it doesn't even go into the groove. This should be lodged inside of a groove down there, so the fix for that, we've got to replace this for sure anyways, but there's a snap ring that has a retainer, and then the snap ring wraps around on itself like this, roughly 2 times, so once that's on and the retainer is put on, that snap ring just won't come off again. So really the problem is the snap ring, the drum looks to be okay, so when we look at that groove, it looks okay, and that's what we usually find as well. So one other thing of note is, if you look right there, you can see this piece here is a stud sticking out. That's for the starter, and this bolt is corroded, and so we had a tough time getting it out when it did finally break. So we're going to have to extract that. So we're going to have a little extra time to take that bolt out and replace it with a new one. But that's essentially what we found inside the unit. So as I said, Eric or Amanda will contact you with the cost estimates. Thanks.